Welcome in for apparently everyone who's watching the VOD. The group has not assembled yet for the launch. This is Falcon Heavy. We're getting ready to see the first commercial launch of Falcon Heavy, SpaceX's very, very powerful triple booster rocket. 27 Merlin engines. It's going to be something really cool to watch. Its launch is, according to clock, an hour and 3 minutes from now, 6:35 p.m. Eastern time. We have not had any significant issue today. There was an earlier concern about upper level winds, which is what scrubbed us yesterday, but SpaceX tweeted within the last hour that all systems are go, all weather is go. They have not started to slip, and they haven't slipped it with about 53 minutes left to go, which means they are probably at the point of propellant load. So we'll talk through what that is for people that watch on the VOD. This is the... Let's go over there now. This is the timeline. So at T-minus 53 minutes. So we're coming up on it. We're not there yet. In about 5 minutes, they will... The SpaceX launch director... What's up, Drakadai? Welcome in. The SpaceX launch director will verify a poll for propellant load. That'll be when we know for sure that the wind's not a problem. The wind is not like it was yesterday, which caused the scrub. So this first line, actually, I'll make this a little bit bigger here. How about that for you guys? You guys probably see that better now. So right here, this very first poll, 53 minutes, which is about 8 minutes from now. SpaceX launch director will poll for propellant load, assuming there's a go. 3 minutes after that, the first stage RP1, which is the kerosene, will load. About 5 minutes after that, the first stage LOX will load. And then 10 minutes later, second stage RP1, with 18 minutes to go, second stage LOX. They'll start pre-engine chill, and then they'll go into the routine of getting this thing off the ground. So, again, if we don't see any sort of bump within the next, I would say 8 minutes, 7 minutes, we're probably good to go tonight. I know last night there was a 6:32 was the launch. Then they pushed to 8, and then they pushed to 8:32, which was the absolute end of the window. The end of the window tonight is 8:31, and then they got within about 53 minutes away from launch, and they scrubbed because they didn't want to load propellant when the winds were bad. So that's what's going on right now. They're getting ready to make their poll call for propellant load. We're going to pay attention probably to Twitter and make sure that that happens. I also have the SpaceX YouTube up, waiting for that to go. But here is a uh-oh, what was that? That's not good news. 1 hour to launch confirmed from next space flight. That is actually good news. So here's what's going to happen tonight. Liftoff at about T plus 7.5 minutes. You're going to see Booster 1 and Booster 2, the two strap-on side boosters, land back at LZ1 and 2. That's going to be awesome. It's only been done once. It was a year ago, and it looked amazing. It's going to look amazing if they pull it off again. And then you have, at T plus 948, the middle booster is going to land on, of course, I Still Love You. And they've never done 3 landings in a single launch before like this, so that's pretty cool. The other big thing about this is they're launching Arabsat 6, which is the size of a school bus. It's big. This is a huge payload that they're slingshotting effectively 1/4 of the way to the moon and doing all this awesome stuff with Arabsat 6A tonight. So I'm super stoked. I'm very happy that it seems that the weather's cooperating SpaceX has been positive this afternoon as opposed to yesterday when they were like, well, we'll see. They seem to be in go mode right now. 6 minutes until propellant load. And again, I think that's when we know for sure. So what's going on with these boosters and everything else tonight? So let's go back over here. So if you look on the left-hand side of the screen, that side, I just need to start using my other hand, just that side. You'll see that all 3 boosters are on their maiden flight tonight. None of these are reuse. These are the first flights for all 3 boosters. 2 of the boosters, again, will land back at the LZ 1 and 2, and then the center stage will land on, of course, I Still Love You. They do not have Mr. Steven deployed tonight because he's still damaged, but they are actually intending to also try to pick the fairings up out of the water. We'll see how all that goes. So we're probably about 20 or so minutes away from SpaceX picking up on the coverage. For those of you who were not here earlier, our baby mission, Beresheet, did not.
Lord, go f yourself.
This is ground control for Major Fix. What's up, JC? How you doing? How was your mandate with Perm? But Beresheet did not go well. For those of you unfamiliar, Beresheet, it was the Space IL, and I mean the word was, the Space IL lunar lander that launched on rideshare with Nusantara Arabsat 2 back in February, and it was positioned for lunar landing today. It made its deorbit burn, it was on descent, and then they lost telemetry, and they got telemetry back, and then they lost the main engine, and they restarted the entire spacecraft during descent to try to get the main engine back, which they did, but it wasn't enough. Beresheet impacted on the lunar surface at about 1 kilometer a second today, which means it's in many pieces right now. So it was an unsuccessful landing, and there still has been no commercial landing on the moon ever. Yeah, it was bad. We watched it live. We cut the stream in half day. We watched it live at about 2:45, and it was really positive at Space IL, and then all of a sudden you started seeing hands go on the back of heads. It was all in Hebrew, so we couldn't understand it, but we were watching the telemetry going, yeah, it's not good. So what I hope they'll be able to do is do some simulations to understand what happened, and I also hope that some Earth observatories can actually get a good look at where it hit. There is one photo. It was the last photo sent from Beresheet at about 25 kilometers above the surface of the moon, and that was the last transmission of any kind they got. We'll cover that more on Monday, but that is what happened with Beresheet. It sucks because we're all sitting there going, "Hey, they're going to land something on the moon." It's like, oh my God, we feel so terrible for the entire nation of Israel. But in any event, it sucked, but it's done, and they have to go pick up the pieces of what happened. But the graphic that I have up on the board behind me, and I'm going to put up on the mainstream here, this is the order of events tonight. Hey, look at that. That's me tweeting myself out. It was an Israeli lander. Yeah, it was by a company called Space IL. They were one of the original competitors in the Google Lunar X Prize, and which it has expired, but they were still trying to complete it, and they were up for prize money from the X Prize Foundation. They were they're the closest anyone's gotten. I mean, they were 25 kilometers from the surface, basically, still with, you know, somewhat control of the craft. But they're an Israeli private firm. It launched back in late February. We've been tracking it pretty much the entire way because that was our first live launch together, and it did not end well, which sucks. But in any event, what is going on tonight is Falcon Heavy, the most impressive of rocket launches. At T plus 109 from liftoff tonight, you see right here is max Q, which is max dynamic pressure on the vehicle. The big one indeed. At T plus 6 minutes 11 seconds, the side boosters have begun their entry burn. So somewhere in between there is when they SEP. At T plus 751, yep, exactly. At T plus 751, you will see hopefully the amazing, which is 2 Falcon 9 S1 boosters landing next to each other at LZ1, LZ2. And LZ1, LZ2 are really close to one another. Last time it was this amazing video. Here's the other awesome thing. This is later in the day than Falcon Heavy was last year. So the atmosphere may just provide better photographs. It's going to look really pretty. So here it is. Booster engine cutoff, BECO, is at 2:30. 2:34 they SEP. 2:30 or 3:31 is center core shutdown. That's the coast. Center core and second stage separate at 3:35. So you have the center core beginning re-entry at 7 minutes. The side boosters are finishing their re-entry burn just short of that. But here's the awesome part. I know Dracodice heard this already, but then they're going to try to land the third booster, the center core, on Of Course I Still Love You out in the ocean. Mr. Stevens not in play, but they're going to try to pick the fairings up in the water. Of Course I Still Love You has been out there since Sunday because of all of the slips. Because this originally was actually, they moved, since Sunday. Because they originally were preparing for Tuesday, then it became Wednesday, then it became today. The good news is that today looks really good. Today looks awesome. So we are now past, we're coming up on a 53-minute mark. That is the poll for propellant load. So we're going to jam out the Twitter real quick and see if, wow, hold on. NASA selects SpaceX to launch the double asteroid redirect test no earlier than June 2021 aboard a Falcon 9. That's awesome. But let's go look real quick and make sure we don't have anything from SpaceX that suggests a problem. And yes, the best place to get... I spelled SpaceX wrong. That was yesterday. That was yesterday. Can I just have their account, please? T-minus 1 hour. Webcast will go live 15 minutes, so that's even shorter. They were saying 20 minutes earlier. But that is 8 minutes ago, and that suggests we're good to go. What's this notification? Uh-oh. JC, thank you for the chat spam. So sit back and relax, guys. We've got a little bit of time before this goes. 15 minutes from launch is about a half hour from now. But what we can do... So let's go over to... Where is Space IL? Let's see if they posted it. Can't type right now. Your army of 1 of 0, yeah. So here was the approach. This is not the last photo. This is it during deorbit today. This is Bearsheet making its approach. The last selfie photo it took. There was another photo in here that was much closer. And I don't know where it is. Let's see if I can grab it off the internet somewhere. There it is. This is as close as it got. Pretty close. But it impacted it way too high a speed. Yep, indeed. Tragically close. So let's have a look at last year. What you can anticipate tonight. You blame the Kerbals? Yeah, me too. This is what you... I don't want... Let's go 2018. See if that narrows this down a little bit. Everyone broadcasting. So this is Falcon Heavy last year. And I'm not on call anymore. Falcon Heavy's been vertical on the pad since yesterday morning. Again, this is last year's Falcon Heavy. My beverage of choice tonight is Innocent Gun Seasonal Whiskey Aged Beer. So this was the whole thing.
At a live view of a rocket by a factory.
But I'm going to fast forward to the really cool parts.
With the fairing of the Falcon Heavy.
Well, they took their time.
Of the rocket heavy.
High data storage unit. 1,000 of our space.
Now on a unit, stay up in orbit.
And release from the ground lightly. Once the side boosters are clear, the center core
there it goes.
Up to full.
So this was launched last year. That's a big boy. I got legit goosebumps looking at the replay. So much rust indeed. That thing hustled. There's a car in there. Now tonight, there's a school bus in there. Our Arabsat 6A is big. It's the size of a school bus. So the really cool part about tonight that you're going to see again is when we get to this point, where we at here? This. When the boosters are inbound back to Kennedy Space Center, they're going to land on the landing pad. This is LZ 1 and 2. Watch this.
Looking to be on track towards their respective landing zones.
Landing legs have started. Side boosters landing legs have deployed.
And the Falcons have landed.
Welcome in, Captain E-Rock. No, sir. It gets one step better than that tonight if they can pull it off. Those are the two strap-on side boosters. Those are both Falcon 9s. There's 9 Merlin engines at the bottom of that stage 1 on each of those. But tonight, this is last year's replay. Tonight, it's even cooler. So we go, that's this stage right here. That's the S1, or the Booster 1, Booster 2 at LD1, LD2. And then the core stage, this centerpiece, is going to land out on the drone ship, which is called Of Course I Still Love You, about 2 minutes after the first two boosters land. They're going to try to recover all 3. And then they have ships out there to recover the fairings in the water. I'm dead serious, this is for real. Falcon 9 has been recovered a bunch. When we watched Nusantara Satu back in February, it was the third time that rocket had flown. And the 4th time, they're actually going to blow it up because it's part of the Crew Dragon abort test that's coming up hopefully next month. But yeah, this is for real, for real. Welcome to the new era of space flight. This is awesome stuff. This is the king. All right, man. The clock underneath right here, Captain E-Rock, that is countdown to launch when the actual rocket will lift off. So that's how much time you've got. But this is the king daddy of what's available right now. This is not on paper. This is not SLS, which hasn't flown yet. This is a big beast. And it's going to be awesome to watch it take off tonight. So SpaceX said their coverage would start at probably T-minus 15. I bet that goes earlier than that. Actually, you know what? Let's bring up NASA's webpage as well, just to make sure that they're not also live. And we'll go with whoever goes live first. So there's NASA. They have a live stream up. That is their official live stream.
6 people.
And they are not rolling SpaceX right now. So we're just going to stick with SpaceX. Arabsat 6A. So again, last year, they put Elon Musk's Tesla Roadster as the payload, the test payload. And they actually released it. There's video of it. It's still out there flying. There's a mannequin inside of it called Starman. It's been flying for a year. But this is going to be pretty cool tonight. But if you haven't eaten, you haven't gone to the bathroom, you need to get a drink or a beer or stretch your legs, do that. So the timeline of events tonight is this. Coming back around to this. We are now past T-minus 53, which was the big go, no-go. That's the go, no-go that killed us last night. The propellant load. The pole for loading the RP-1 and LOX, which is the kerosene and liquid oxygen, which are the hypergolic reactives that create the propulsion. So right now, they should be in the process of filling the first stage with its liquid oxygen. They'll pivot to loading the second stage in about 10 minutes with its RP-1, and then with about 18 minutes to go, they will load the second stages with their liquid oxygen. And bear in mind, they're loading 3 rockets at the same time. With 7 minutes left on this clock tonight, Falcon Heavy will begin a pre-launch engine chill, meaning it's trying to cool the engines off before they get really, really hot. With a minute and a half before liftoff, the flight computer will be commanded from control to start its final pre-launch checks. And then at 1 minute to go, the propellant tanks pressurized for flight. With 45 seconds to go, it's pretty much the last go, no go. Then at 2 seconds left, the controller commands engine sequence to start, and then there's Falcon Heavy liftoff. The big difference here is this. For a Falcon 9 launch at about a minute to go, they actually are so confident with that rocket now, they will hand off control to the onboard guidance system. You'll notice that at 2 seconds left, ground control is still in control of this rocket tonight. So after launch, 109 max Q. That is maximum dynamic pressure, the maximum pressure of physics on the vehicle during its flight out of the atmosphere. 230 is booster engine cutoff, or BECO. The two side engines will stop thrust. 234, 4 seconds later, those two boosters come off the core. 331, the main engine core, the center core main engine cuts. And then 4 seconds later, that core separates from its S2, the upper stage. 242, the second stage, the upper stage engine lights. At 407, the fairing, which is the big thing that covers the payload, comes off. At 611, the side boosters. Remember, the side boosters detached at 234. Those side boosters at 611 will start their re-entry burn. So they're coming back down to the landing zones at that point. They're going to fire their engines and start slowing down. About 50 seconds after that, the center core is going to do the same thing. It's going to start slowing itself down with a re-entry burn. 50 seconds later, the side boosters land at LZ1, LZ2. About a minute later, the second stage engine, which is still flying the payload, cuts. About a minute later, the center core lands. There's a lot of things that happen on Falcon Heavy launch. And then you have a gap, because it's going to coast. Once SECO 1 happens, it'll coast for about a half hour. And then they'll fire it up again at 29 minutes after liftoff. And you're only talking a half hour after liftoff until Arabsat 6A is deployed. So from 6:35, 35 minutes later, they're done. That's how quick this will be tonight. So again, 41:54, that's my best guesstimate as to what the clock on the ground is, because they don't actually sync the clock on the ground to an atomic clock for some reason. So we're just counting it down, waiting for them to go live. So if you guys have questions or you want to hear about anything else in space, please ask. But at this point, we are waiting for SpaceX to bring coverage, or NASA to bring coverage. And I'm just tracking to make sure that we don't see anything that could potentially say a hold. Been too many holds. Here's a good piece of information. Just to confirm, propellant load did start on time. That means they did start propellant load with 50 minutes to go. That's that 53-minute poll where they said, are we go, no go for propellant load? So if they're loading propellant, they're pretty happy. They're pretty sure they're going. So this was, SpaceX has not confirmed start of fueling, but venting visible. That was the space launch community just going nuts. Let's go over spaceflight now. They are not covering it with their own live stream, it looks like. Nope. That's notification. Oh, someone else liking that tweet. So far, so good. So the other cool thing that happened, and if for those of you that don't follow space stuff too much, this happened yesterday. This right here is not a computer generation of a black hole. That is actually a photo of a black hole. It is the first photo of a black hole ever. It was the combined effort of multiple radio telescopes on Earth, and there was an X-ray telescope used to put together almost 4 petabytes of data, which then had to be put through an algorithm and pieced together as a photograph. And this is the photograph of a black hole. It is in Messier 37, 21 times farther away from us than the Andromeda Galaxy. And if you want to be funny, XKCD did this yesterday. This is our sun, Pluto's orbit, and where Voyager 1 is, kind of in scale to how big that black hole is. So it's not tiny. It's a gargantuan black hole, which is why they chose it. They chose it because it's big enough to do what they wanted to do. But it eclipses the heliosphere of our sun by a factor of almost 3. It's huge. It's a really tremendous piece of science, but I really like the way they went about assembling the photo. They actually took all this data and then they went and set 4 teams off in their own little control groups and didn't let them work with each other at all. And they all effectively produced the same image. That, you know, the science behind it's not biased. You will have to deal with some background noise. It is hot here today. I have the fan on and the windows open, so there will be some background noise. Sorry about that. Yeah, oh god, that's big. Indeed, it's huge. 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 Big. I can't, it boggles the mind how big that is. I'm getting that tee up for. But it's big. And again, for those of you who joined us late, Bereshit.
These pandas are here to party.
Dr. Death, what's up, my friend? Bereshit. Space stuff breaks my brain on how large things can be. Indeed, right. But for those of you who have been following Bereshit on course correction, sad news. It did not, well, it landed really fast. It landed at 1 kilometer a second, which means it's in many parts on the moon and around the moon right now. What happened with that launch, or that landing, is the reentry burn fired well. We watched the telemetry. We saw the side boosters all fire. We saw the main engine fire. We saw the altitude start to drop. They were not cutting horizontal speed well enough, in the opinion of several people in the chat, including mine. But as they came down to about around 20 kilometers from the surface, they lost telemetry, but they got it back. And then they lost the main engine. And their only fix action was effectively to signal the entire craft to recycle itself, to restart. And they got the main engine back, but then as soon as they got the main engine back, the entire craft went LOS, loss of signal, and they couldn't control it anymore. And it was going way too fast because they had lost a lot of the propellant on board. Was burned trying to slow down, and then they had this gap where the thing actually picked up speed tremendously. It was coming down at about 20 meters per second, and then we saw it skyrocket over 100 meters per second, and then we lost all the telemetry data. And you could tell both in the room and from what was going on, the fact that the telemetry froze, that they had lost it. So it did not land successfully today, which sucks. But they're the closest any commercial company has gotten to landing on the moon. So there is that for them. The Prime Minister of Israel was in the room, and he said, you know, if first you don't succeed, try again. Indeed, Riot. Remember, it's not the first glitch on the mission either. They had a computer problem before they made their first maneuver, or their first elliptical orbit increasing burn relatively soon after liftoff on the ride share. So it sucked because it looked good. And then all of a sudden it went sideways fast. And you could see, like, we cut the stream from watching it because, one, it was in Hebrew, so it was really hard to piece together what they were saying. We were just basically feeding off telemetry and then had Twitter up reading what people were saying there. But then it was like, you could see pain. It sucked for those people. It just was like, man, that's just really shitty. But you know what? It's still, I mean, it was a cool mission to watch. It was cool how they went about it. And hopefully it inspires other companies to try to do the same thing, even though that had been in development for like 4 years. So we'll see if anyone else has the solid brass cojones to try it as well. And again, I am not on call. Yep, every failure is a learning experience. No truer thing in the world than that. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to mess up, as long as you learn for it. What am I drinking? Innocent Gun? Irish whiskey aged barrels. Good beer. I'm just happy I can drink beer. And I could drink it during Falcon Heavy launch because I was like, it's going to be on my on call and I have to be sober. Now I don't. But I'm glad.
I got another mission for you if you're ready.
Welcome back, Gilly. We took a break in between. Kerbal Space Program was screwing up on me. We taking the host Doc, the Rocket we have, and Gilly. That one didn't fire. I think because you hosted me already earlier during the same day. So the KSP was screwing up, and the same rocket we used to put all 4 modules into space, all of a sudden one of the decouplers didn't want to function. I launched it twice, and I got so frustrated. I was like, take a step back. I played a couple games of Rocket League. I'm like, nah, let's just take a break. We'll come back and start fresh for Falcon Heavy, and that's where we're at. So we have 30-ish minutes, probably about 15 or so until they go live with Falcon Heavy coverage from SpaceX. Wow. Catbot removed that. Hitting the moon with 3,600 kilometers an hour. Yeah, I bet things will be small parts. Why would Catbot remove that? So Dracodai says this. Hitting the moon with 3,600 kilometers an hour. Yeah, I bet things will be small parts. That's weird. And now Catbot put it back in place. Why would small parts be if that's the world we live in, with the word small parts? Thank you. You can do that. You can restore off Catbot. That's good to know. There is no off for Catbot anymore, and I wish there was, because that's an example of it being stupid. We have a very robust blacklist here that keeps the obviously offensive terminology out. Why that, guy? Is it hitting? I don't know. Why would Catbot do that? That's dumb. Dumb. Thanks, Mixer. Gilly, that's what the car mechanic says when there's a rattle and he doesn't know how to fix it. Alright, let's check back in here. Make sure there are no problems. I will probably take a small, quick break just to walk my legs around right before they go live. Still about 15 minutes away. Not much else going on in Spacelandia. The black hole was the big thing yesterday. Barrier sheet's the big news today so far. It's about to get eclipsed by this launch. And again, yeah, that sucked, Gilly. I felt bad watching it. It was like watching a car crash at the end. It was just bad. It was painful. You get all these people who worked on this whole time. It was a bargain basement vehicle, to be sure. And yeah, that too. It had no redundancy. But they got that close, If it had failed in Earth orbit, whatever. But they were 25 kilometers from the surface, That sucks. So anyway, for everybody came in late, this is the plan of attack tonight for Arabsat 6 on the Falcon Heavy launch. The graphical of it. We ran through the press release checklist of important timestamps, but there's going to be a lot going on for about the first 9 to 10 minutes. That looks like a train wreck and a half.
Well, it's about...
Welcome in, Naruto. It's not a train wreck so much as the first 10 minutes are pretty busy. From about 1:09 through about 9 minutes. They're going to recover, or attempt to recover, all three core stages tonight. So the 3 boosters that are the side strap boosters and the center core, the 2 sides will come down at LZ1, LZ2, and then the main core will come down on the drone ship. Of course, I Still Love You downrange. All 3 are flying their maiden flights. None of these are refurbs from prior flights. What's good? That's a great way to make my presence known, you gotta admit. Well, we just talked about car crashes and bear sheet, and then you say train wreck. That's a good segue, I guess. But anyway, we've got a busy 9 minutes, and then a gap of about 20 where there won't be anything. But 36 minutes after launch is when Arabsat deploys. And this is the really cool thing, and I've said this a few times. On top of the 3 core boosters and the attempt to get the fairings out of the water, Arabsat's the size of a school bus. It's a big payload. And the orbit they're putting it in is 1/4 of the way to the moon. They're going to get there in 36 minutes. 1/4 of the way to the moon. That's awesome. This is mind-blowingly cool. Keep going for my iced tea, but I have a beer sitting here. That is a crap ton of thrust indeed. So Falcon Heavy is the most powerful rocket that is currently flying. ULA will outdo it. SLS will outdo it whenever it maybe flies.
I wish Fix was here.
I wish too, but I am here. Where's Perm? Perm's not here. But it does not eclipse Saturn V. Saturn V is still the most powerful rocket to ever fly. But it was powerful because the engineering was, 50 years old. What's up, Squirrel? How's it going? Yeah, nice of Perm to give us that no warning stream. No warning, no stream today. Yep.
Slime a guy with a positron collider, huh?
I went looking, Gilly, because I had a crap week, and then all of a sudden, the problem I'd been working on for 4 days, we fixed it, and dominoes fell. You know how that works when you find that one thing causing 10 problems? And it went from my day so busy to, what am I supposed to do with the rest of my day? And I was like, hey, where's Perm? No Perma noob stream today. Hey, let's check his Discord. Nope. Nothing. Apparently JC knew where he was. Driving out to have lunch with him. Him and Yomega, but yeah, we were just like, where's Perm? In any event, T-minus 27 minutes and counting until liftoff. We are about 12 minutes away from live coverage. We'll check back in with that. Make sure I don't have that muted. I don't believe I do. You can crack all the jokes you want, Naruto. It says T for team because I want to encourage kids to watch science stuff, but the Outlaws are not. We can take as many jokes as you want to throw. Just be prepared to take them in return if they're aimed at anybody. That's the rules around here. You gotta take as good as you give. All right, so not like that, Doc. Let's come back over to flight control. Wait for them to go live. Again, your information is on the left-hand side.
You will endure this loss and learn from it.
Flying from Kennedy Space Center 39A. The window closes at 8:31 tonight, but I don't believe they will not have a weather-related hold. If there is a hold of any kind, it will be held because there is a mechanical problem. You had to resub so you could have your emote back. Because you use it more than anything else. Oh yeah, speaking of funny things that happened today, Dustin was doing his karaoke thing, like he always does. And he was singing Wrecking Ball. You know what? Let's go to the videotape. How about that? We have to entertain people, and this is funny as hell. Let's just go to the videotape. Here's Dustin playing Breath of the Wild today, but singing Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus.
I can't live a lie running for my life. I will always want you. I came in like a wrecking ball. I never hit so hard in love. All I wanted was to break your walls. And you ever did was wreck me. Wreck me. Sorry. I put you high up in the...
It's so funny. It's never gonna get old. Just so you guys know, it is in the streamer button.
Wreck me.
There you go. It was maybe one of the funniest things that's ever happened on his stream today. It was just awesome. And I think here he is. Follow the man, Dustin. Super funny. Start your mornings off with him. I've got 700 hours watching my friend's stream, and he is one of the funniest people I know. Because he just doesn't give a shit what you think about him. He just doesn't. It was so funny. Oh, and if you want to hear that sound in Dustin's stream, it's !wreck me, all one word. You're welcome. Those are my pickles at work for you. Yeah, Doc, that was something today. That was hilarious. So we'll wait over here for SpaceX to come in. We've got 24 minutes to go. What I'm going to do is take a break. I'm going to get up, walk around, use a restroom, probably get grab another beer. We've got about 9 minutes to live coverage. I will leave this here in case they go live. That sucks, but at least you got some sleep. Yeah, that's the one time you didn't get trouble pressing the karaoke button for sure, because it was just this moment that's gonna live forever in our community of friends. I got tears in my eyes, and it's like the 5th time I've looked at it today. But get a drink, go to the bathroom, stretch your legs, all that cool stuff. We're about 8 minutes away from live coverage from SpaceX, and we are 23 minutes away from launch. So I'll be right back. You guys do what you need to do and be ready for a show here very shortly. You need coffee. Welcome back. Those of you who are back, you need coffee. That was just the backup beer, because this is a cool night. Also, Doc, if you're watching, Sabaton wristband came. I'm really happy about that as well. That's going to the Iron Maiden concert with me. One of the cool things this week, the Canon 6 came, the T6, the DSLR that I've been looking for to mount to the telescope. Go ahead and make your mount jokes. It came on... Naruto, you might have followed me back when we did wrestling. I did wrestling for about 6-7 months. Back when I first started streaming, it was designed to bring this community together, and it did. It did what it was supposed to do, but it got to a point where it was turning into a job for me. And I was spending like 3 hours off stream for every on stream hour. With WWE 2K18 maybe. And I took a break, and I came back, and I was searching for something that I wanted to do with streaming, and science and space is a passion of mine. That might have been what it was, but we didn't play head-to-head. It was an E-Fed, so all the stuff was computer-driven. It was all AI-driven. But I had the suggestion made to me. It was probably somebody else, but if wrestling was what your thing was, that's almost surely how you found me, probably last summer. But I pivoted to something I have a passion for. I follow this stuff anyway. I watch this stuff anyway. This is not additional work for me. Oh yeah, baby, here we go. So presenting space and science is actually no work at all. Make sure we got these guys all the way up.
Wow.
Wow, indeed.
Do you guys have like meetings where you get together and like write stuff down?
We should, Perm.
Whoa! Apparently you've affected my wife as well. She just said I deserve all the shade you guys give me.
Hell yeah, let's do this. Told you it wasn't 15 minutes. If you're not in the room and you've walked away, SpaceX has started its stream. Dude, me too. This is like the king of launches right now. This is the coolest of rockets to watch launch. I'm so hyped for this. People get hyped for video games and stuff. I get hyped for this. Poor Drakadai. Hit by Eddie. Alright, Naruto, enjoy your sushi. We will be here. And you can always find it on YouTube if you want to watch the show afterwards. We post everything there on the Course Correction and BOSA playlists. That's the point for me, Riot. This is why it's even cooler now, is I know there were space fans out there, but the idea that I don't mind doing like this little bit of work. Building mission control, that was really fun, you know? That was awesome. So we're in a flight suit. That's a childhood dream of mine, and I have one now, and it's really cool. So sharing the enthusiasm is exactly what I said the very first day. Was like, remember when I was in school and how cool all it was when kids would get around TV. And that's what we're doing now, and it's just so much fun. Well, maybe they're doing like a 4-minute SpaceX musical countdown here. At any point, if the stream coming in from SpaceX is too loud, let me know and I can dial them down. But we definitely want to have them up when it comes time to fire rockets. Almost an empty beer. Why you gotta say that on a day where Barry Sheet crashed, man? I ain't gonna lie. When I got up to take a break and I went to the restroom, like my in the restroom thought was, man, what if this is just a shitty luck day for space flight? I seriously had that thought. It would be a spectacular fireworks show. But man, can you imagine how liable they'd be for such a huge payload? As long as it's not on the pad. Yeah, because then all those space photographers that have all the remotes set up not too far away from it, those are gonzo. You see people out on the highway away from Kennedy Space Center saying, you know, we'll take wedding photos if you provide the camera. T-minus 16 minutes. They're still on their intro. Let's see. But anyway, guys, seriously, taking wedding photos is not an easy gig. Yeah, it's not, and I wouldn't want to do it. I mean, I'd do it for, now that I have a nice camera, I'd probably do it for somebody if they really needed somebody to. Doc says it's so funny. Somebody asked me if I'd seen the new Magic the Gathering spoilers. I said nope. I was waiting for Falcon Heavy to launch. Good to have priorities. Here we go. I'm gonna close some windows here real quick, just for stuff we don't need. Here we go. In case they flash on the screen like that one did. One other thing, for those of you who missed it, there's your mission patch.
You're looking
Listen
at
to
a
that
live
crowd
view of the Falcon Heavy on historic launch pad 39A at Kennedy
I wonder
Space
how many
Center,
times they're going to call it
awaiting liftoff
historic
at
tonight.
6:35 p.m. local time. Welcome to our live webcast of the Falcon Heavy Arabsat 6A mission from SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne, California.
I mean, the two next to each other is the really cool thing, and then the core on, of course, I Still Love You would just be the bonus.
To be here with you today, along with my co-host.
No Kate Tice, though. Sorry, guys who like blondes.
Falcon Heavy. It's the first Falcon Heavy launch carrying a payload for a customer, and tonight our customer is Arabsat.
And I'm Alex Siegel. I'm a material planner here at SpaceX. We first flew our Falcon Heavy vehicle a little more than a year ago. It is the world's most powerful operational rocket by a factor of 2.
Oh, you can feel that the stream just got hit by like a lot of people tuning in.
And 3
And it
landing
went
attempts.
crappy on its latency for a second.
Activity happening all at once.
Just want tips, yeah, but
Payload tonight is a geostationary
Kate Tice is
communications
curvy.
satellite, which will provide state-of-the-art communication services to customers in the Middle East and Africa.
Tonight's launch window is about 2 hours long, and we're planning to launch at the top of that window. If we're unable to launch tonight, our backup window opens up on Saturday, April 13th. We're currently
Why would there
at
be
T-minus
backup
14
tomorrow?
minutes and counting, and all systems are go in Cape Canaveral.
Today, Falcon Heavy will deliver the Arabsat 6A payload.
I remember watching the girl. I forget. I think it was Crew Dragon, and she looked like she hadn't eaten in a couple days.
Flying a Falcon Heavy. Now let's take a closer look at the rocket.
No.
Falcon Heavy is essentially
okay, so on that point, because of I can see who's in chat.
Larger payloads not only to Earth orbit, but to the moon
I mean, K-Tice is appealing to look at, but I love my girlfriend. Oh! Oh no!
Heavy is a two-stage launch vehicle. The first stage is comprised of 3 cores.
Don't do that again, SpaceX. I know that this stream is going to be heavily viewed,
making for a total of
which is why rebroadcasting is actually a good thing.
As you can see on your screen. Now altogether, these
versus all of you guys on YouTube's website. Oh my goodness, what are they doing?
Over 5 million pounds of thrust, equal to 18 747s at takeoff.
Not me. There's no way that that's me.
So much power that we don't run them at full thrust all at once until after liftoff. For the mission today,
I doubt they run them at full thrust at all.
Brand new. It's
the profile, and there's a website called Elon X. The profile for this flight really doesn't need them to fly more than 80% of their thrust.
And other changes
That's the crazy part.
More reliable and easier to reuse.
During ascent,
Mixer,
Falcon
nah.
Heavy will throttle its thrust up and down.
I can see my network latency. Yeah, Buzz. Let's play Buzz. Buzz is good to go with that. Play Buzz.
About 70% of the way through the first stage burn, the 2 side boosters will separate and come back to Earth.
Yeah, 720 is fine for this because I'm broadcasting 720, so I'm not taking it down too much. There we go, it's fine.
Landing Zone 1 and Landing Zone 2. At this point,
I'm broadcasting
the mission
720
will
so that
proceed just
less
like
people
a
have
standard
problems.
Falcon 9 flight. The center core will keep firing for another minute, then we'll perform a standard stage separation from the second stage. We will attempt to land the center core on our drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You, which is currently stationed about 535 nautical miles off the coast of Florida in the Atlantic Ocean.
535 nautical miles? That's out there!
Bringing back the center core is challenging.
That's way off the coast!
If we are able to land all 3 cores tonight, it will be particularly exciting. The second stage is exactly the same as any other Falcon 9 flight. Tonight, the second stage will be sending our payload to geosynchronous transfer orbit. The spacecraft will then maneuver into a geostationary orbit more than 20,000 miles.
Yeah, she almost got real excited,
now,
like me excited.
Into perspective, that's equivalent to almost an entire trip around the world, traveling along the Earth's equator.
Speaking of the satellite, it is safely enclosed inside the 17-foot diameter payload fairing.
Here's the thing. You can tell they rehearsed for this one, right? They're not jumbling through this. They practiced for this one.
During ascent. Now, once we reach the vacuum of space, we will jettison the fairing as the second stage continues.
That's about 8 seconds ahead of me, so let's do this. Let's sync that clock up while we're here. 3, 2, 0.
Ocean using our recovery ships Go Searcher and Go Pursuit. And lastly, you'll notice the tall structure next to the rocket, which we call the fixed service
structure. 3 seconds ahead.
Its
let's go
primary
here.
function is to provide passengers access to the Crew Dragon
There we go. Let's go one more second.
But since we do not have any passengers aboard today's flight, the fixed service structure does not.
A little bit ahead of it now.
Let's
let's go back to 12. There we go. All right, we're good. The clock should be pretty close.
Good Thursday afternoon. I'm John Innsbrucker, the Falcon Principal
John
Integration Engineer.
Innsbrucker sounds like he used to be a sportscaster.
We are T-minus 10 minutes, 28 seconds from the launch of the Falcon Heavy. As I like to say in my updates, the SpaceX team is working no significant issues and is on time for launch.
That's good news.
The Falcon Heavy rolled out to the pad
Trained by John Madden,
early
indeed.
Wednesday morning and went vertical about 6 hours later. Now, after yesterday's scrum,
let the organ notes ring out from the Abbey.
John.
The sisters are gathering.
Welcome in. We're about 10 minutes away from launch.
Operations. Just before we began the webcast, the SpaceX launch director pulled the 9 members of the launch team and got a go for both propellant loading and for launch. Now we're currently
propellant load was a while ago. That was at T-minus 53 minutes, but okay.
And the second stage. Now
I feel bad because we were just making fun of John.
Liquid oxygen and a fuel, kerosene. Why did we pick these 2? Well, obviously in space there's no oxygen
How dare me.
needed to support combustion. So we bring our own as liquid oxygen. It's readily available and it supports efficient combustion. We chill it to get it as dense as we can in order to maximize how
good
much
explanation
we can load
though.
onto the rocket.
Good job, John.
Our fuel
Nedge is watching. Good job, John.
Essentially a purified kerosene. It is safe, easily available, has a lot of history. The Saturn V first stage flown from this very pad on the moon missions used liquid oxygen.
Seriously, we should play a drinking game. How many times did they say historic pad 39A?
The Arabsat 6A team began transfer to internal power at T-minus 21 minutes, and just a few minutes ago they completed that. They are go for launch. Now for tonight's mission, we're using the Falcon Heavy to place the satellite into an orbit with an apogee near 90,000 kilometers. This is much higher than the apogee of a normal geotransfer
That's
orbit.
huge.
With this higher apogee, it is more
90,000 kilometers
to maneuver into its final geo orbit.
That's huge.
The range is currently green. They are prepared to support today's mission.
Tidris is range green. That's
weather,
good.
The good news is the upper altitude winds are much lower today, so both ground level
The
and
upper winds were what scrubbed yesterday.
Go for launch. No worries there.
Edge body, Ginger Stash Bay.
Mentioned, we did start today with a 2-hour launch window. However, now that we are into LOX loading, we don't have the ability to hold the countdown. If there is an issue in the last minutes, there isn't enough time in the window to stop, reload the cold liquid oxygen, and still launch today.
Yep. So any
update, though,
hold
Saturday,
now, any
April
problem
13th
mechanically would be a scrub because they're too far into
now,
the window.
As I've said before, launch is hard, and Falcon Heavy is no exception. We are essentially counting.
By the way, you can purchase a Falcon Heavy hat
so the
at your nearest SpaceX online web store. They're super comfy.
Anything pops up in the last minutes. But as the energy from the team gathering below
I can't even use them because they're not submeeting either.
Control center is growing. We are
yeah, especially Falcon Heavy with the school button. It's the propellant that's the problem. They are chilling it, and they would have to effectively start the process over if they had to hold for a long period. There's not enough time to drain and reload the tanks.
Reaching tens of millions of homes in more than 80
T-minus
countries.
7 minutes to go.
Arabsat 6A, which was built by Lockheed Martin, is a high-capacity telecommunications satellite that will deliver television, radio, internet, and mobile communications to customers in the Middle East, Africa, and Europe. Here's a quick message from our customer.
One world, one heart.
Speaking of Falcons, what do you think of Falcon Life? I believe I feel like an unfinished game to me, Nedge. I played it last night.
We feel more at home. A world that's growing wider than ever, with more choices and more possibilities. The world.
Yeah, it's a game where you have a pet Falcon and you can tell it to go kill things.
Closer than ever.
Yeah.
With the new generation
it felt like it has a good premise, but it's not done.
Our neighborhood. Arabsat,
whatever, Falcon Age, Falcon Life, whatever it is.
The SpaceX team continues to count down.
You knew what damn game I meant, Doc. I haven't gotten as far as you. I know that you played it far longer than I did because you streamed it today.
10 seconds from liftoff. Now fuel loading is
I probably played it for about 90 minutes and like kind of got into the valley, like when you get out of the prison, and was like, okay, and started looking around. Like this feels like it's empty.
Now another event coming up here in a couple of minutes.
That camera is shaking.
Retraction of the transporter erector. We'll start a sequence at
Don't set erector.
4.5 minutes.
Try not to pass out, Nedge.
Arms around the second stage open up. Shortly after that, the strong back portion will recline away from the Falcon Heavy. It moves just under 2 degrees
T-minus 5:35
until liftoff, when it will move the rest of the way back from the launch vehicle.
Remember when we watched that launch riot of Crew Dragon? We thought the strong back falling away was a rocket crashing.
We'll first light the 2 side boosters.
That right there, by the way, is why we watch launches together for funny stories like that. Because we were like, oh no, both of us quietly to ourselves went, oh shit, for 3 seconds.
Then command release from the ground hold downs at T0. 40 seconds into flight, we'll decrease power on the 2 side boosters in preparation for maximum aerodynamic loads on the vehicle.
I'm so freaking stoked.
Period, Falcon Heavy will throttle back up to power on the side boosters. Once we get 2 minutes into flight, we will again reduce
also, don't forget, for everybody who missed it, that happened today.
Much of the propellant, but the thrust is constant, so the acceleration, hence the loads, are continuing to increase. So we will
my asshole leaks. I'm constantly plugging leaks in my asshole.
It is indeed good every time.
2.5 minutes into flight, we'll fully turn off the side boosters.
Where's the kaboom? There's supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom.
Separation system on the center core then unlocks the 2 side boosters and pushes them away.
I believe that this nation should commit itself
going to begin
to achieving the goal
is part of
Before
the
this
two
decade is out,
sequence.
of landing a man on the moon
Meanwhile,
and
back in
returning
the
it
acid
Okay, Gilly, but
once we get the side boosters separated from the center core, the center core will throttle up to full power. It'll run another 55 seconds. Finally, at just past 3.5 minutes after liftoff, the center core will shut down, called main engine cutoff.
I will kill the interactive buttons with about a minute to go.
From this point on, it's
Obviously,
like a
anybody
Falcon 9
plays
mission.
Mario, but
Other than we're having 3 boosters.
hell,
all
Dustin and
returning to
Perm
Earth
do.
at the same
That's
time.
saying something.
The fairing will separate. The second stage engine fires twice, eventually
I mean,
sending
I
the
could
stage
do Puma.
balloon out into
Oh, God.
geosynchronous transfer orbit around the Earth. So that gives you a feel for the sequence of events we're planning to demonstrate.
Well, I just
on
saw
this
boom
flight
start,
of
so
the
I know it's
Falcon
working.
Heavy. Everybody right now is reporting things look nominal. The checkout sequences are good. We're closing out propellant load.
I am excited.
3 minutes and 16 seconds and counting. Let's watch and listen in to the final countdown.
Hell yeah,
of
3:12
Falcon
to
Heavy.
go. This has been like a sporting event that's been postponed for me for like a week. I think JC just did that to get me doing cartoon voices. 3 minutes to go. Thank you all for being here. This is awesome. This is an awesome launch to watch together. I'm so happy that I decided to stream launches and we all come together for it. Always, Riot. Always. This is something this community obviously enjoys. And it's something I think many of us would be watching independently. And like I said, we have a strong backstory from Crew Dragon now, right? We both thought it was going to wreck. Two minutes. I am going to kill interactives. Inline for security. Welcome in, Dustin.
Clonk that follow button.
Interactives are going down for launch. But speaking of Dustin,
Falcon Heavy is on internal power.
Falcon Heavy on internal power. It's never gonna get old and not ever.
Ground gas closeout.
If anybody wants the audio file, please contact Pixar. T-minus 1 minute, 17 seconds. Pressurization of the tank should start momentarily. The fact that he looks to the side is what makes that so good. T-minus 1 minute. That cheer's good. Tank pressurization had to have started. Seed.
Ground gas closeout complete.
Go for launch.
Bang.
Minus 30 seconds.
Like, okay, fine. Yep. T-minus 10 next milestone. They're locked in at this point.
Yourself.
Minus 15 seconds.
Vehicle's flight pressures.
T-minus 11, 10, 9,
9,
8,
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. Ignition. Liftoff.
Go, baby, go! What a fucking close-up! I don't care if it's on Team Jesus. Go! I have freaking goosebumps. The hair on my arm is standing up. Go! Roll.
Center core at deep
It
throttle.
was a second, JC, not a minute.
33 seconds into flight. Under the power of 5.1
Hell
million
yeah, it
pounds of
is.
thrust, Falcon Heavy is
Go.
headed to space. We're throttling down.
He wasn't this excited on a winning day.
Maximum dynamic
Coming up
pressure.
on max Q.
Power and telemetry are nominal.
Oh, you put him out for 1 minute?
We're hearing reports. Power and telemetry are nominal.
Yep.
Vehicle is supersonic.
You may have heard the call out on net 1. Vehicle is supersonic. Side boosters
1250
are
kilometers per hour at 12 kilometers altitude.
Maximum dynamic pressure.
There through max Q. T plus 120.
Trajectory looking good.
Remember, T plus 6 is when we start looking for those side booster steps.
We've gotten past maximum dynamic pressure.
Go.
Next event
Look
coming
at that
up
freaking
is
plume. That is
MVAC
gorgeous.
engine. Get the turbo pump ready to ignite the main engine on the second stage in another couple of minutes. Merlin engine performance looks good.
It's so damn pretty.
We've begun dropping power on the side boosters to decrease loads on the
What's
center
on
core.
there? Arabsat 6A, which is the size of a school bus, Dustin. Yeah, 2 minutes and it's almost out of the atmosphere. The thing goes. Awesome.
Second load limiting shutdown.
Continuing to decrease loads to minimize
Yo, Megan's already got you beat on being the flat earther in the community.
Coming up on booster engine cutoff called BECO and separation of the two side boosters.
When you see those two side boosters cut their engines, you got about 4 seconds till they sep.
BECO.
Booster engine cut off, and there go the side boosters.
Booster separation confirmed.
There they go, baby.
Successful separation, if you can hear me over the cheering.
And they are coming back down to LZ1, LZ2 for recovery.
To begin returning back to
Jeez, this is awesome. Captain E-Rock didn't believe that they actually recovered boosters earlier. He's not here right now, but he was like, is this for real? When I showed him the replay of this.
Everything looking good on the flight of Falcon Heavy. The next major event.
8,500 kilometers per hour, almost into space. 86 kilometers, coming up on the Kármán line.
Of the second stage.
SpaceX does this right for sure, Gilly. Of all the launch companies, they do this the best. The presentation is the best coming from them.
Up into the nozzle of the second stage engine.
You see there it is, main engine cut off, the pressurization of the foil, there it goes. There's the core booster falling off. Come on, light Seco. Her second engine, there it goes. And she's fired up. Not Seco, but second engine ignition. So, remember, 6 minutes.
Side boosters looking good.
6:39, I think it was. We start for the maneuvering burn for landing on the two side boosters. 7:09, I believe. I'm trying to go from memory here, but I know it's within the 6th and 7th minute that we talk about re-entry burns for those those three sets. There goes your fairing.
We also have successful shutdown of the side booster boost back burn. So T
Look at this thing.
4 minutes, 25 seconds into flight. Side boosters on their way back to Cape Canaveral. Center core coasting.
Come on, baby,
down
land
to
all
the
three.
Atlantic. Stage 2 looking
Make my
good with
day
a
and
nominal
land all three.
trajectory.
Well, RCS cameras, I mean, re-entry control system is what you might be seeing flashes of propellant.
And
Yes.
as you guys have noticed, the grid fins have deployed on the side boosters as well as the center core.
The flashes
Those
you're seeing,
work to
Gilly,
help
yeah,
guide
that's
the boosters
monoprop
back to a
firing.
nice targeted soft landing.
But you may also be seeing the actual lights blinking on the craft.
As a reminder, today we'll be attempting to
And I think that's what you're seeing right now is.
first stage cores, and all three
Yeah, those
boosters
are definitely
currently
the lights
their
on the
way
boosters.
home.
The two
In just a few
sequential.
minutes, the side boosters will execute an entry burn, followed by a landing burn, and the center core will do much the same a few minutes later. Both burns are meant to slow the stage's speed down rapidly.
Kármán Congo line. Dear God, Dustin.
At the time of
I just lost
separation,
chat.
the side boosters were traveling slow enough
I do have
to
it in the
turn
bot still,
around
but I do not
and
have
make their way
chat.
back to land at our side
Yeah, I
by
see it.
side
I see it in the bot, Gilly. I'm good.
Center core, on the other hand, is going too fast to
I
efficiently
do not see it
return
in
to
the.
cave,
There we go.
so
I'm
we're
good.
using our
No, I just lost it on
autonomous
the
drone ship. Of course, I
web
still
for a
love
second.
you.
I have it in the
If we have a
in the
successful
bot.
landing today, the side boosters will be reflown on our next Falcon Heavy mission, STP-2.
No, you're not timed out, JC. I see you.
Now, coming up at about T plus 6 minutes will be the side boosters
I see you still, JC. I see Squirrel talking as well. Chat has resynced for me. If you're still having a chat issue, refresh. But I see JC and Squirrel typing. Okay,
so you
JC.
see the side boosters on your left and right screen.
6 minutes.
Side booster entry burn is
There's your entry burns for the side boosters.
There's the re-entry burn beginning.
Now remember, this telemetry you see in the bottom left-hand corner is stage 2. The upper stage is still burning. Come on, baby. Land them.
Stage 2 trajectory nominal.
And the re-entry burn is complete for the side boosters. Now coming up
Now
in about
you see
30
monoprop
seconds,
firing.
The center core, which you see on your
Those
center
big flares
screen,
that are coming
will
out of the
begin
sides,
its
that's
re-entry
monoprop.
burn.
That's definitely monoprop in the center stage, which is bottom middle. You have your center core burn coming up for re-entry. Look how close they are to the ground on the two left and rights. The side boosters are coming in.
Stage 1 entry burn has started.
There's your middle core, your center core entry burn.
And there you can see the re-entry burn for center core has begun.
Remember, that thing's landing really far out in the ocean on, of course, I Still Love You. Side boosters are on their way down to landing zones. They're coming in really, really clean. Look at this.
The side boosters landing burn will begin as well.
Landing burn coming up for the side boosters. Top left corner. Come on, baby, land them. Look at this. This is the most metal fucking thing in the world. Woo! Yes!
You can hear our crowd going crazy right now. Both side boosters has landed on our landing pads. Zone 1 and Zone 2.
Side boosters landed, LZ1, LZ2. Now we just need center core, and of course I Still Love You. This is amazing. There is, of course, I Still Love You, the drone ship downrange right here.
Stage, and for the center core to
Stage
land.
1 on its way to the drone ship for recovery. Stage 2 still burning.
All 3 boosters, which we
People
have
did
never
that.
done before.
Exactly. That's freaking awesome.
Coming up in about 20 seconds, we're going to listen for confirmation of SECO 1 or second engine cutoff 1.
AOS.
Humanity indeed has so much potential if they can stop bitching at each other. E plus 849. S2 speed coming up on 26.5 kilometers per hour.
And back shutdown.
Pico.
And we have confirmation.
Center core
now we're just waiting to hear good orbit.
Center core transonic, it's now coasting. Stage 1 coming up on its landing on, of course, I Still Love You. They pulled this off.
And we have that confirmed. Good orbit.
Now coming up here in about 15 seconds will be the center core landing burn.
Well, just show us the ship, lady. Get off the screen.
So again, as we mentioned earlier, this is going to be a challenging landing.
Stage 1 landing
and we are
starting.
landing on our drone ship. Of course, I Still Love You.
Come on. There it is. Come on, lander. There's a lot of cheering. They lost the connection, but that sounds really good.
Waiting for some confirmation, and it sounds like we landed the center core on our drone ship.
Come on, give us a video feed of it out there.
The center core for the first time on our drone ship. Of course, I Still Love You. For the first time, we've landed all 3 boosters for Falcon Heavy. What an amazing day.
Yes!
So now
That's
we are going to
awesome.
take a quick break.
Hell yes!
You can hear our crowd going
That is so freaking just amazing.
3 for 3 boosters today on Falcon Heavy. What an amazing accomplishment. So now the primary mission is still going well. We are about to enter the coast phase. So
Coast,
we're going to take a
this is the break
break,
time.
but we'll leave you with an
Next stop,
animation
me
that
in
shows you
space.
where
Hell
we are
yes.
throughout the coast phase. We will be back at about T plus 26 minutes for second stage relight and the deployment of our satellite.
So you've got about 16 minutes. Hell yeah. That's 11 minutes from launch to 3 boosters landed. That's amazing. But you have until T plus 26 until they are going for S2 relight, and then they will deploy the payload at T plus 35 according to the press kit. So this is your opportunity. Go get a drink, go to the bathroom, go walk around. This is your moment to do it. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to get up, take a break, and we'll come right back. All right, JC. Sorry. Okay, Whisperer, but thanks for hanging out.
Those without the stomach for this place
Again,
must
T
move
plus
on.
26 is when they said they'll be back with coverage of S2 burn. We'll be back. Well, we'll be here the whole time, but this is your break time. Go take it. I'll be right back. What's up, Sancho? That was the sexiest thing. Oh, seeing all 3 boosters land was so amazing. I'm gonna turn down their music so they come back. But that was amazing. See, we have some video or some pictures coming in off Twitter while we are waiting for them to come back in. That is a shot of launch. Hi, Dad. I'm reading your text message on my watch as you texted to me. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. We're not done yet, but that was awesome. There's your photo of Center Core on Of Course I Still Love You. For the hat trick. Is that what we're calling that now? Welcome to the goddamn 21st century. Here's your replay of landing. That's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. Man. Indeed. So there are the side boosters. There is, of course, I Still Love You. This is the video coming in from Of Course I Still Love You. And they've lost it too, so that's not an actual different feed. That was awesome. Man. Really, really cool. Engineering for the win, indeed. Yes, Nedge, my Twitter is just pictures of rockets. I carefully curate who I follow. I mean, I can produce a list if you want. This is liftoff. This is Das Valdez, by the way. If you guys will go to Twitch ever, Das Valdez is a really, really awesome Kerbal streamer. He's an educator on streaming. He is really, really cool. And that was him talking in the pregame to Falcon Heavy launch. Yep, caught up. That's where I was before. Expect the amazing photos to continue to roll in. Look at that one. Oh, man. Look at that photo. That's a really pretty photo. Look at the contrail just coming off the plume. Toopy! What's up? Toopy. SpaceX just landed all 3 boosters on Falcon Heavy. Amazing. Rockets and death. So again, find that. Here it is for Toopy, who just rolled in. This is the side booster landing that just happened a few minutes ago. We're in coast right now, waiting for the S2 reignition. But those are the side boosters landing at LZ1, LZ2. Amazing stuff from SpaceX tonight. Only the second time they've done that, and it was in sync. It was in sync both times. I don't care what you say. I'm not a Musk fanboy. I'm not an Elon Musk guy, but SpaceX is way ahead. Just so far ahead of what everyone else is doing in rocketry right now. ULA is a good company. I'm not, pooping on Blue Origin or anything, but SpaceX is doing stuff that's just off the scale incredible. That's where I'm at too. He's a bit nuts for my taste. SpaceX as a team is incredible. Incredible what they're doing. Like, I don't think Elon Musk should be on Twitter taunting Jeff Bezos. But SpaceX, that team, what they're doing is leaps ahead of everyone else. That doesn't surprise me. I mean, you have to consider where you come from. Like, he's a polymath, right? I mean, he's got all these different disciplines that he's good at, and he doesn't know how to shut that off. So he doesn't know how to shut that off for his workers either. That's where that comes from. This photo right here for Toopy coming in, that is the center core landed on the drone ship. Many miles out into the ocean. But back over to this. We are at T plus 26 to come back. We got about 7 minutes until they come back live with the S2 reignition, and then T plus 35 is payload deployment. The fairing is already off. This has been an amazing night for SpaceX. Yeah, 565 nautical miles or something like that. It's a lot. Stage 2 coming up over the coast of Africa right now. Pretty much. I mean, we talked about it Monday night. SpaceX and Boeing is maybe not even going to fly manned on Starliner this year. So it's space. Just again, I'm not a SpaceX fanboy, but I appreciate what they do. What they are doing from an engineering perspective is spectacular. This tonight, landing 3 boosters. It's the first time that's ever been done. It's groundbreaking. That's amazing. And they did it with what looked to be measured confidence. Like, they're like, yes, we know we will do this. The door really got me going. And my past comes back to haunt me. But as we continue on this coast, Get wrecked. It actually probably will just be a plaque of a bunch of emojis. That's been his kick lately. That tweet from Space from they might have deleted it, but hey, look, JC went live. Probably go over to him. He's playing Satisfactory. He was here. He was gracious enough to be present for the launch. We'll probably host him when we're done. Getting high in orbit, bitches. I don't want to try to be teen. Hi, if you're a teenager, welcome to the adult world where people swear. Whatever. This right here. Remember when landing a single booster used to be impossible? Not very long ago either. Know what to screw it. There's no teens in here. I recognize every name, and we'll just be done with that for now. No, you can stay too. T plus 21, 29, about. Yes, thank you for blaring your engine out my window. I appreciate it. Also, for those of you who missed it earlier, don't forget.
Wreck me.
Of course it's here too, Nesh. I'm the one who recorded it, or took the audio off the video. Busted. It might be the funniest thing you've ever done on stream, man. The fact that I just have it highlighted in Scorp so I can press play whenever I want on it. Man, that's funny. T plus 22, 40. So we got about 3 minutes. Breaking up in the airport. Shouldn't do that, man. Think about her feelings. The second time this morning when you watched that and you just put your head down, I was laughing. I mean, I saw it live, and it was like the second time it was just as funny. It's still just as funny. You know what we'll do? Lots of people in chat. You know what time it is. We got just about 2.5 minutes until we come back for the burn. So let's do this. This is your chance. You can have the pull before flight tab, the pull to eject tab, or you do the Apollo commemorative button or the NASA shuttle commemorative button. Any of those can be yours if you win. It's 100 tributes to get in. Exclamation point raffle in the chat. You have 1 minute, 25 seconds. We only got 2 of these left. We have 3 remove before flights left and a bunch of buttons. You did win last time, but do it again because we have other things you haven't won yet, Leech. If I can mail 1 thing or 2 things in 1 envelope, I will do that. Hercules, what's up? Lurkers all come out for stuff. T plus 24:30, a minute and a half till we come back for second engine reignition. Dude, you missed it. This has been awesome. Thank you very much for the host. Time out, everyone. Funny thing is, JC's streaming right now, but he's still in the channel, and he doesn't know we're giving stuff away. They look like they're getting ready to come back. T plus 25, 15. 10 seconds. Exclamation point raffle if you've not gotten in. You hit 5 hours and Eddie doesn't warn you anymore. Nigellin, who I already owe a package to, pick again. The NASA button, which one? You want the Apollo one or the shuttle one? Alright, you got it. And guess what, guys? Because there's so many people here, Neds, do not enter this. You're ineligible. You can't enter anyway. One more. Here we go. You guys thought I was just doing one. Because this is an awesome night, an awesome event. Let's give away some stuff. And you already have your address because I've mailed you stuff twice now. So I'll just put that in with the... I do have the other patch as well from the mismatched mailing. So I'll just put it all in one envelope. Not waffle. Rex, I see what's going on.
Welcome back to the webcast for the Arabsat.
You have a minute 18 on the giveaway.
We're at T plus 26 minutes, 45 seconds. Second stage with the satellite is about to cross the equator, west coast of Africa.
Okay, I'm a troll. I recognize my own.
If you missed it, you missed a great show. Liftoff right on time, 35
1 minute,
minutes
exclamation point raffle.
Side boosters separated as planned. 2 successful landings on landing zone 1 and 2. Center core shut down. Second stage separated. Second stage went into the desired parking orbit where we are right now. And the center core executed a toasty landing out in the Atlantic Ocean on the drone ship. Now coming up in about 20 seconds, we're going to get ignition.
Exclamation point raffle.
About a brief reignition of the upper stage engine to carry the payload into the desired transfer orbit.
Dustin, Gilly, Doc, Riot, Hercules, Squirrel, Sanjo, and Leech are in. There goes second stage reignition. 15 seconds if you're not in. Exclamation point raffle.
Confirmation of ignition. We are up at the desired power. Tank pressure looks good. The turbine temps look good. You may have seen just before ignition.
Hell yeah, look at the speed.
White fluffy pieces.
28,800 kilometers per hour. And Gilly, who have also mailed something too.
It's solid, but it is not very
Go ahead and pick one.
It's very fluffy, and it is actually attached to one of the liquid oxygen overboard drain lines that we
What do you want, Gilly?
So coming off is normal. Now this burn is about an 85-second burn. In that time, we'll add 2,800 meters per second to our velocity.
Gilly, say something.
That's more than the side boosters provided early in flight. Almost as much as what the center core gave
pull
us.
to eject, pull tab. You have the remove before flight, pull tab. And then you have the option of
to keep
either
below the limit
zip
for
this
our
again.
Arabsat customer.
You're welcome, Doc.
Everything continues to look
The
good.
Apollo commemorative button, which has a normal pin back, or the shuttle commemorative button, which has a straight pin back.
Views of the nozzle of the upper stage engine coming from 2 SpaceX
Pull to eject. You got it. There's only one more of those left, and guess what? We're going to do one more because there's so many people here. Go for it. Gilly and Ned are ineligible.
Continuing to throttle down, and we have shut down.
And back shutdown.
Right now, we're waiting to hear what the final orbit
We've had a
looks like.
huge turnout for this tonight. I don't get this many people to give away stuff to. I know you guys want some of these things, so last one. This is the last one. Exclamation point raffle.
We're on a path that'll
In the
take us
chat.
almost 90,000 kilometers up above the Earth.
Get about 7 minutes till they
Now
deploy
we're
the
in good
payload.
orbit we wanted. We're going to coast for the next 5 minutes
Right,
or so.
type something else
We'll
and
be
then type
back
raffle.
with continuing coverage at T plus 33 minutes for the final step in today's mission, deployment
Captain
of the
E-Rock
Arabsat
gets in on it.
6A satellite.
So I have a droid over here on my desk that's super excited. Hey, Vector, find your charger. Dustin, also enter something else and then enter raffle again. Just to confirm who we've got in the giveaway, it is Sanjo, Doc, Hercules, Squirrel, E-Rock, Riot, Leech, and Dustin. Nigella and Gilly have already won.
Welcome to the Temple of Salt.
I know, Doc. Doc, you've gotten one of the cooler things that we've given away, and it wasn't a giveaway. It was a friendship gift, so I know you're not salty. You have something that they can't have. You're welcome, Gilly. Captain E-Rock hits regular. Eddie will stop harassing you now. Congratulations. Well, he'll harass you less. $10 seconds left to give away. He's less of a meanie, though. Turn them down. Turn the music down. Captain E-Rock hits regular and wins. Which one? No, you never did, Toof. I need an address. Which one do you want, E-Rock? Who wants to touch me? So, E-Rock and Toofy and everyone else who's won, I already have Gilly's address. I already have Leech's address. But anyone else who's won a raffle in the last month that's not named Mads, who's not here, DM me an address. I'll make sure your stuff gets out to you next time I go to the post office, which is usually a monthly thing. I've been waiting for Nedge's patches to come in. I do have some of those giveaway too, but we didn't add those tonight. We'll do this later. What are the tab things? So they are keychains. So they effectively have a key ring. And one says remove before flight, and it's red and white. The other one says pull to eject. This is the last one of these because everyone else has wanted these. And it's black and yellow. Also remind me in the DM with your address what you won. The red one, you got it. Excellent choice, my friend, because that is what is on my keychain and wallet right here. Yeah, just DM me the DM it to me in Discord, Captain E-Rock. We're coming up on T plus 3230, actually passing that, 35,800 kilometers per hour. Getting ready to deploy Arabsat 6A. Yeah, don't put it in chat. That'd be bad. Those of you curious, my moderators who have watched a ton of time, Dustin's not included in this because Dustin got a different gift, but moderators who have been around for many hours got one of these. It is a paracord bracelet. It has the Spartan shield in it. Theirs does not have a helmet with flare. Theirs just has a helmet. Mine has the one with the flare on it. Dustin, when I went to New Orleans, got a different gift. Got a Rob Halford mermaid Christmas ornament because it suits him.
The Arabsat 6A satellite. The second stage has begun a slow spin up. That'll help stabilize the satellite. It'll retain that spin when it separates from the second stage.
The Leech,
currently, the
hang
camera
out.
view has switched forward, looking at
You
the
get
Arabsat
something
6A
eventually.
spacecraft. And if you've just joined us now, you've missed a great day. Both side boosters landed at the Cape. Center core landed. Second stage right in the desired orbit. And now we're waiting for separation.
There it goes.
Separation confirmed.
Wow, Eddie hates Boom TV mod.
As you can tell behind me, the folks who watched the mission cheering Arabsat 6A.
Is that what you want?
Into the desired orbit.
Because that's not out of the question.
That puts a capper on what's been a completely normal day here at SpaceX.
And with that brings our webcast to a close. Thanks to our customer Arabsat for entrusting us with tonight's mission. Thank you to the 45th Space Wing and Range Safety and the FAA for licensing today's launch.
We'd also like to thank all of you, our viewers, for tuning into such an exciting launch today. Follow our website and social media platforms for updates on our next milestones and missions. And until next time, have a great night.
All right, guys. This has been awesome. Arabsat deployed. An amazing launch. 3 boosters recovered. A bad day for Bearsheet, but this was an amazing launch. Yeah, I mean, I'm wearing a flight suit right now, and I mean, I could go so far as this, Leech. How about maybe wings with your name on it? Huh? Ooh. When you hit that threshold, we'll talk. But I do like to say thank you to my mods, and that's one of the ways that I do it, is giving them a gift that I know they'll appreciate. All right, that is Falcon Heavy's launch. It is 7:10 p.m. There's no doubt we're going to J-Seed. J-Seed was hanging out here. We're going to drop all of this crowd on him. He's playing satisfactory. You guys, thank you so much for making this a really fun night. Hanging out with you guys watching a rocket launch was awesome. We have, yeah, you too, Gilly. We have, don't forget, course correction, Space News, Monday night, 7 p.m. I may be doing some stuff this weekend, but I'm not sure. And then we have a launch next week. Check schedule in the Discord for that launch. I don't want to broadcast times and dates because it may shift, but always check that channel. It will tell you when the next broadcast of a launch is. But let's head over to J-Seed and say hello to him on our way in. There he is, the big goober, playing satisfactory. Let's double his viewership and tell him have a great night. Again, those of you who won, just DM me your address and what you chose again, just so I can kind of keep track of it all. Those packages will start to go out probably in about a week, and Ned's yours will all be in one. Come on, load up J-Seed. He's on a long AFK? No, he's there. He's talking. All right, guys, have a great night. I will talk to you later. Thank you again for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for having fun watching an amazing rocket launch. Have a great night, and I will talk to you in everyone else's channels and in Discord.